Alrighty, guys, we are back with another Bible reading, the start and beginning of Noah's Ark. We're going to start off from when he built the ark all the way to when he's finally, found land and see how everything plays out from there. So, Noah and the flood. Alright, these are the generations of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generation. What it must be like to be blameless. I don't know, I always get blamed for everything. Noah walked with God, with Yahweh. Like actually walking, or like beside him, or just like hearing him out. That's two different things. Alright, and Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight, and the earth was filled with violence. Yeah, see? It's filled with a lot of hatred, a lot of violence. Well, I guess if you do think about it, with early starts of human creation, we are like pretty brutal creatures. And God saw the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. Well, yeah, everything's already corrupted. Like, it's technically it all starts with one, and then that's how you get corruption. That doesn't mean it can't be healed, though. So it's funny how God just kind of gave up, how Yahweh just gave up. And God said to Noah, and Yahweh said to Noah, I have determined to make an end of all the flesh. So all life, I have determined to make the end of all the flesh, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark and cover it inside and out with pitch. This is how you are to make it. The length of the ark, 300 cubits. Its breadth, 50 cubits, and its height, 30 cubits. Make a roof for the ark and finish it to a cubit above. And set the door of the ark in its side. Make it lower, 2nd and 3rd decks. For behold, I will bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh in which the breath of life under heaven. Everything that is on earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing of all flesh, you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark, to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female, of the birds according to their kinds, and of the animals according to their kinds. Of every creeping thing of the ground according to its kind, 2 of every sort shall come in to you to keep them alive. Also, take with you every sort of food that is eaten, and store it up. It shall serve as food for you and for them. Noah did this. He did all that God commanded him. The reason I didn't stop from that sentence is because I wanted to see everything God said. And I already have, I want to say, a lot of questions, first of all. What is a cubit? Is it like a cubic feet? What is a cubit? Secondly, how many animals are there? So about 21 inches, 52 centimeters. 21 inches. Centimeters would be easier. 52 centimeters. 1 cubit is 52 centimeters. This ark is small. Okay, the ark is 300 cubits. Either that or there just wasn't that many animals on Earth. Like, 300 cubits. I'm in a trailer. that's 38, well, technically close to 40, like 39 something feet wide or long. And you're telling me that 300 cubits is enough for an ark. 50 cubits and 30 cubits in height. Oh my god, that is a small ark. Well, to carry around this many animals, I guess. 2 of every kind of every animals. Though I guess it doesn't really say, because it doesn't say what a kind is. So, like, for example, if it would be like a wolf and then a coyote, but then I guess you guys can argue that those are both like in the dog breed. But if you're talking about that, then it gets difficult when it gets to like chipmunks, hyenas, all the other like little things, and then insects, all the things that, the creepy things it says from the ground. So 2 of every one of those, but at the same time, they can just dig under. But insects were pretty big back in the day, so it's just, and then all of those can't like get fed, especially with that much food that you need. Like a horse and a giraffe would have to have some kind of a common ancestor, and then that's very little for that much space. Like, damn. If anything, God, why didn't you just like eliminate everything? Why even save them? You can technically just recreate them. Start over. There'd be no point. In one of the greatest quotes, I guess Thanos would have said, it would be a world born from blood. Or I guess a universe born from blood. But they wouldn't know it. And that's something that like Yahweh is doing. That's pretty terrible. And then once again, Noah did this. He did all of that. God commanded him. All right. Moving on. Because Yahweh had no other solution, I guess. Then the Lord, Yahweh, said to Noah, "Go into the ark, you and all your household, for I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation." Okay, so obviously he does respect Noah and that he's like super loyal. Take with you 7 pairs of all clean... Take with you 7 pairs of all clean animals, the male and his mate, and a pair of the animals that are not clean, the male and his mate. The 7 pairs of the birds of the heavens also, male and female, to keep their offspring alive on the face of the earth, or on the face of all the earth. For in 7 days I will send the rain on the earth, 40 days and 40 nights. And every living thing that I have made, I will blot out from the face of the ground. And Noah did all that the Lord had commanded him. Yahweh had commanded him. Oh wait, that's interesting. It says, take with you 7 pairs of all clean animals. 7 pairs. So that wait, does that mean there was only 7 kinds of animals on the ark? Like land animals, right? And then he said a pair of the 7 animals that are not clean. What does that mean? What does not clean mean? Like dirty animal? Like, okay. Clean animals and non-clean animals. And then it said and 7 pairs of the birds. That's another thing. If birds are kinds, what kind of a bird? What kind of birds would they be? You know? Let's see what clean animals and non-clean animals are. So this, I guess we get into the further in. But I think it means like the goat, the ox, the sheep, the deer, the gazelle. So far it sounded to me like these are herbivores. And then non-clean animals I think are carnivores. So it says every animal that has split hoof, not completely divided, or that does not chew the cud is unclean. What? Is also mentioned in the book of Genesis. Non-clean animals prohibit foods. It's seeming to be some Bible things and some that are not. That do not chew the cud and do not have clubbed hoofs, such as like pigs and horses. I guess fish don't really need to go on the ark. And yeah, anyway, we're just going to go with a lot of water for some reason and drown everything, which I don't know, people can technically adapt to. But if there's nothing to grow or 40 days, I think you can actually do that. I think there was a person that survived, was it 3 months at sea with only eating cookies or something like that? I could be wrong. Anyway, we're just going to continue. Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters came upon the earth, and Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons, and his sons' wives with him went into the ark to escape the waters of the flood. Okay. Of clean animals and of the animals that are not clean, and of the birds and of everything that creeps under the ground, 2 and 2, male and female, went into the ark with Noah, as God had commanded Noah. So it basically repeated everything, as Yahweh commanded Noah. And after 7 days of waters of the flood came upon the earth, in the 600 years of Noah's life, in the 2nd month. This is confusing. Okay. And after 7 days of the waters of the flood came upon the earth, so basically after a week, in 600 of Noah's life, basically, in the 600 years of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month, on that day, the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of the heavens were opened. Wait, it literally just kind of spread down to month and year and day and stuff. So that was kind of funny. In the 2nd month, so let's just say it's February, on the 17th day, so the 17th of February, right? On that day, all the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of the heavens were opened. I'm not sure what that means. The windows of the heavens were open. I guess the clouds? Well, windows of the heavens. Windows of the heavens were open. I'm trying to think of what metaphor that would be. Windows of the heavens. All I can think of is the clouds are opening up, but then that would make no sense if it was raining. Yeah, and the rain fell upon earth 40 days and 40 nights. On the very same day, Noah and his sons, Shem and Ham and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 of his sons' wives, or 3 wives of his sons, with them entered the ark. They and every beast according to its kind, and all the livestock according to their kinds, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth according to its kinds. Tired of the Cusco things, goddamn. And every bird according to its kind. But wait a minute. Every winged creature. Sorry, it said every bird according to its kind. But if birds is a type of division, I know I'm overthinking this through the process of evolution, but technically wouldn't a bird be something else other than the bird? Because you'd only need 2 flying creatures, 2 birds, unless there was something that was another winged creature that wasn't a bird. I guess you can count a bat. I guess there are some other things, some other winged creatures. So I guess that's not too bad. Okay. They went into the ark with Noah, 2 and 2 of all flesh, in which there was the breath of life. And those that entered, male and female of all flesh, went in as God, Yahweh, had commanded. And the Lord shut him in, and Yahweh shut him in. So they're trapped inside this ark. This tiny, 300 cubit ark. 300 by what? 300 by 50. I don't know what you guys think, but that's a small ark. I'll put it up here just so I can so you guys can see the actual measurements of everything. But having all living creatures in that ark is weird. But I guess it's not, because it said 7 pairs of the birds. It says 7 pairs of what's it called? The clean animals and the non-clean animals. Take with you 7 pairs. So that just means 7 animals, which it makes the story from like actually reading it now more believable, or well, I shouldn't say believable, but it makes more sense, because it would be 7, 7, and then whatever birds are there, but like I guess 7 birds, because you can't really fit every single species onto that ark. So it does make it at least a lot better, actually, after like reading it. The flood continues 40 days on earth. The waters increased and bore up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters prevailed and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the face of the waters, and the waters prevailed so mightily on the earth that the high mountains under the whole heaven were covered. Under the whole sky were covered. So basically like Mount Everest and basically everything. Everything was basically underwater. Everything was underwater. The waters prevailed above the mountains, covering them all, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And all the flesh died that moved on the earth. The birds, livestock, beasts, all swarming creatures that swarm on the earth, and all mankind. Everything just died. Everything is gone. The water took back everything. See, the power of water, you don't mess with it. When you don't become a firebender, you become a waterbender. This is why. This is why tsunamis are scary. Everything on the dry land in whose nostrils was the breath of life died. Everything on the dry land in whose nostrils was the breath of life died. Everything that could breathe basically died. He bloated out every living thing that was on the face of the ground, man and animals and creeping things and birds of the heavens. They were bottled out of the earth. Only Noah was left, and those who were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed on earth 150 days. Wow. God just said, you to all the rest of life. What if Noah just got the wrong one, like the wrong animal, you know? Like, you never know which animal was the good animal, which animal was the bad animal. So, you just kind of kill everyone, I guess. Kill everything else. It's not like good. What if there was like a smarter dog out there, or a smarter like lion or cat or creature, and we just got the dumb ones? You never know. The flood subsides. But God remembered Noah and all the beasts and all the livestock that were with him in the ark. Wait, but God remembered? Okay. So did he forget or something? Yeah. And God made a wind blow over the earth, and the water subsided. So did he just like, oh shit, I forgot. It's been 150 days. I need to, save these guys. All right. And God made a wind blow over the earth, and the water subsided. The fountains of the deep and the windows of the heavens were closed. Okay. I still don't understand what it means, like, by the windows of heavens. It doesn't give me, like, usually it gives me something at the bottom to, like, translate to. But, like, the windows of the heavens were closed. Like, what would I do for the metaphor for that? I guess the passage to be on the air, I guess, would be the windows were open and then the windows were closed. You know? Like, they were no longer in the sky with that much water. But yeah, I guess that's what it means anyways. The fountains of the deep of the windows of the heavens were closed. The rain from the heavens was restrained, and the waters receded from the earth continually. At the end of the 150 days, the water had abated. And in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Anyways, Ararat. Let me know if I'm saying that wrong. Ararat. But it says the 7th month on the 17th day. So July 17th. I know it's not going to be those months exactly, February and July, but that's going to be our most accurate representation, I guess, or our easiest representation to understand. Because I think that July and August were added differently. I just don't know when. That's why September is Sep and 7. And October is technically 8. November is 9. December is 10. August and July were just added. But, well, whatever month it is and whatever day it is, that's when he landed. Anyways, and the water continued to abate until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, the tops of the mountains were seen. So we can finally see the land starting to surface. At the end of the 40 days, Noah opened the window of the ark that he had made, and sent forth a raven. It went to and fro until the waters were dried up from the earth. Then he sent forth a dove from... why would he send two more? Okay, well, let's continue. Then he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters had subsided from the face of the ground. Oh, okay. So just because they rose doesn't mean that Noah actually saw them. He was still just floating about. So I guess God just didn't take it out quick enough. And they're just trying to find land. Because I think that's what I think that's what he's trying to do. That's what birds would do. They would try to find land and then come back. Yeah. But the dove found no place to set her foot. Yeah, see? And she returned to him to the ark, for the waters were still on the face of the whole earth. So he put out his hand and took her and brought her into the ark with him. He waited another 7 days, and again he sent forth a dove out of the ark. And the dove came back to him in the evening, and behold, in her mouth was a freshly plucked olive leaf. Okay. So, because 7 days have passed, it would take plants 7 days to go with an olive leaf. I don't think that's how fast plant life grows. And even if it did, that would be a lot of water reciting super quickly before you see all the land. I know it's a made up story and everything, but it's just it's sometimes hard to grasp. After you I guess I gotta open my imagination up a little bit. All right, so Noah knew that the waters were subsided from the earth. Then he waited another 7 days and sent forth the dove, and she did not return to him anymore, which means there was probably a lot more land, and they just stayed there. In the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month. Why does it be like that? Why do you gotta tell time like this? Well, then again, this book was technically written in the past, translated thousands of times, Anyways, in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from the earth. Oh, I also got to point out that it said the 10th month, and then now it's saying the first month. So maybe it was around that time, where technically it wasn't July, it was September. But you guys know what I mean. It really doesn't matter. Anyway. And Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. In the second month, on the 27th day of the month, I'm not even going to tell the time anymore. The month, the earth had dried out. Then God said to Noah, Yahweh said to Noah, let's see what he says to him. Go out from the ark, you and your wife and your sons wives with you. So take everyone out. Bring out with you every living thing that is with you of all flesh, birds, the animals, every creepy things that creeps on the earth, that they may, let's see what they may do, swarm on the earth and be fruitful and multiply the earth again. So let's see if they can do everything again. So Noah went out, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him. Every beast, every creepy thing, and every bird, everything that moves on the earth, went out by families from the ark. So I'm assuming that they had kids while they were on the ark. Not just, I guess not just them, but all the animals, because it said families from the ark. And, they started populating the earth again. Making the same mistake twice, God. All right, but this is I guess where you keep going. We're almost done though. All right. God's covenant with Noah. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, to Yahweh, and took some of the clean animal and some of the clean bird, not animals, not birds, just bird, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. So did he just like kill them and like offer them like, here you go? I don't know. Burnt offerings, I think is, I don't know, maybe just like burnt sticks, burnt like wood, burnt trees, burnt something. I don't know, burnt sand, glass. I don't know. And then it sounds like he just built a church. The first church Noah built. And when the Lord Yahweh smelled the pleasant aroma, so he can smell, right? The Lord Yahweh said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground because of man, for the intentions of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I ever again strike down every living creature as I have done. So you learned your fucking lesson. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Like, he's apologized for everything he's done. It seems like he's growing a long way. 150 days after, I don't know, about 900 years for Adam. I don't know. We'll see. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. So it seems like God is saying like, hey, I know I messed up. I will never do this again. Let's see if he does though. Let's see. Regardless, we're on this. We're on this, so. And God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. The fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of earth, and upon every bird of the heavens, upon everything that creeps on the ground, and all the fish in the sea. Did he just say that everything will fear us? Which I guess would make sense back then. You're thinking like, oh, this, like, we're closing up against, like, you know, this butterfly, or like we're closing up against this animal, and that's why they run away. But little they know, they just don't want to be prey, you know? Yeah, be fruitful and multiply for the earth. The fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast. Yeah, so that basically he's just telling us that they will fear us, you know, after we just saved their lives, I guess, or Noah saved their lives. But, it's just cause fear. Into your hand they are delivered. Every morning, every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. That is absolutely not true. At least now, maybe back then. But it says, like the pufferfish, or I guess you can eat pufferfish. But there are some things that you technically could not eat, especially without like specific discoveries, like a rattlesnake with its poison. I guess now you can by draining out the poison, but everything you can eat. You're an omnivore, basically. Yeah, every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. And as I gave you the green plants, I give you everything. So he's basically given us everything back, or giving Noah everything back. But you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is its blood. Okay, so I guess that makes, we're not eating while they're alive. Okay? And for your lifeblood, I will require a reckoning. From every beast I will require it, and from man. From his fellow man I will require a reckoning for the life of man. Interesting. I will require a reckoning from every beast. I will require it. So, if we kill something, he would require something from that man. From a fellow man, I will require a reckoning for the life of man. So, I'm assuming it's like if we kill somebody, he would want something in return from that life. Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed. For God made man in his own image. For Yahweh made man in his own image. Whoever sheds the blood of man, So if we bleed, by another man, shall his blood be shed. Huh, okay. So he's like no longer a man? No. I think he's just meaning that we attack our own. I'm confused here. Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed. Oh no, whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed. So basically, we are all men. We are all man. For God, Yahweh, made man in his own image. So if you bleed and you're a person, like you're a man, that's what you are. Which I guess makes sense. I don't know. And you be fruitful and multiply, increase greatly on the earth and multiply it. So obviously, it's just telling us to populate the earth again. Then God said to Noah and to his sons with him, Behold, I establish my covenant with you and your offspring after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the livestock again, and every beast of the earth with you, as many as came out of the ark. It is for every beast of the earth I establish my covenant with you, that never again shall all flesh be cut off by the waters of the flood, and never again shall there be a flood to destroy the earth. It doesn't mean that there won't be other floods, though. And God said, Yahweh said, This is the sign of the covenant that I make between me and you, and every living creature that is with you, for all future generations. I have set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. When I bring clouds over the earth, and the bow is seen in the cloud, I will remember my covenant that is between me and you, and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters shall never again become a flood to destroy all flesh. Okay, so he basically said, as much rain as there was, it will not happen again. When the bow is in the clouds, or I say bow, or is it bow? Because now I'm confused. When the bow, I'm gonna switch it to, when the bow, like when the bow is in the clouds, when the bow, I'm gonna stick with bow. Like you're bowing, I don't know. When the bow is in the clouds, I will see it and remember. I'm just gonna switch to bow. I think bow sounds better now. Like when the bow is in the clouds and you're like launching it like you're like launching it to a cloud and then it rains. I feel like that's cooler. So forget bow. Let's go with bow. I know I just switched everything, but whatever. When the bow is in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God, Yahweh, and every living creature of the flesh that is on earth. God said to Noah, Yahweh said to Noah, This is the sign of the covenant that I have established between me and all flesh that is on the earth. So once again, fucking Cusco, poison, what's in the poison, whatever. But it seems to me that he not only just like learned his mistake and regret again, like he made humans, he hated that he made humans and they turned out the way he did, so he thought about erasing them and like flooding everything out. But when he realized that wasn't the best like interest in all of them, he tried to do it like, I don't know, he realized, okay, maybe that wasn't the best idea, seeing all of them, just drown slowly, torture themselves, or torture them, because drowning is a very painful way to go. Like you're basically saying goodbye to your last breath. That's like goodbye, and then like it's struggles, and then on top of that it said that it'll never happen again. So I'm hoping he doesn't do that anymore. So we'll see how else he kills people, or Yahweh. But it does sound like he kind of learned his lesson and said, like, I will no longer try to intervene. Obviously, the book just started, or the Bible just started, so, and I know some other passages where he does intervene, but I don't think, I think that at this moment, he thinks he learns his lesson, and he's like, I should not intervene with human matters, with my creations, like what's it called, with the way they're running things. Like, let them do what they do. They might be savages for a little bit, but let's see how quickly they can evolve, you know? That's what it sounds like. Noah's descendants. The sons of Noah who went forth from the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Ham was the father of Canaan. These three were the sons of Noah, and from these the people of the whole earth were dispersed. So they, populated the earth. Noah began to be a man of the soil, and he planted the vineyard. He drank of the wine and became drunk, and lay uncovered within his tent. So he basically just became a drunk. Okay, and, took care of the wine. That's fine. And Ham, and the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers outside. Okay, so I guess they're all naked again. So does that mean that they're like everything seems to be restarting, I guess? Or so far, let me continue reading. But so far it does seem like everything is restarting. They can go ahead and be naked again. They're not ashamed. All right. Then Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it on both their shoulders, okay, and walked backwards and covered with nakedness to their father, okay. Their faces were turned backward, and they did not see their father's nakedness. Okay, so they kind of just tried, okay, maybe they are ashamed, but Noah just doesn't care. When Noah woke from his wine and knew that his youngest son had done to him, he said, wait, what did they do? Then Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it on both their shoulders, and walked backwards, covered the nakedness of their father. Oh, they just covered. Yeah, their faces were turned backwards. Okay, so they just covered him. I thought okay, that makes a lot more sense. I read that in my head wrong. When Noah woke from his wine and knew that what his youngest son had done to him, he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall be to his brothers." So that kind of sucks. He kind of cursed them. Okay, whatever. He just cursed them for covering them up. He also said, Blessed be the Lord Yahweh, the God of Shem. Okay, and let Canaan be his servant. Okay, so he's the servant. That's pretty straightforward. May God enlarge. I'm thinking in my head as well, thinking he's punishing his own children just for covering him up. May God enlarge Japheth and let him dwell in the tents of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. After the flood, Noah lived 350 years. All the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. So he kind of just cursed him and just made him be a servant, I guess. I don't know how I feel about that. He, covered him up. I guess Noah was trying to see, hey, you shouldn't be ashamed to be naked. I guess, I don't know. Japheth sounds like the Hebrew word enlarge. Enlarge. So enlarge covered him. So Noah lived to be 950 years old. Next time we're going to get to nations descended from Noah. And that looks like a lot of names I won't be able to pronounce, so I'm not going to try at this moment. But we are just touching the base of Genesis. It's literally the beginning of Genesis. But we're going to go through the whole thing this year and see how everything is just in Genesis this year. Next year we'll do the Leviticus, and then the year after that. It's going to take a long time to get through the entire Bible. We are all seeing what opinions we form. Personally, I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of did like this arc of Noah's Ark, this story of Noah's Ark. It basically reminds me of, like I said, I guess in the last video, it's like you screwed up with something. with like your design or your creation, and you want to make it, I guess, better, but at the same time you think, oh, this will make it better, and you kind of wipe out this entire thing. I was like, there you go. That way I still keep the main core of what I want, especially a person who was like extremely loyal to me. But then you realize maybe that wasn't the best idea. Like it makes God seem a lot more human. It makes Yahweh seem human. In reality, I'm not really justifying any of his actions right there. If he was an all-powerful like deity like that, that's kind of fucked up. But to be fair, which gods weren't fucked up? Because others, like, all gods did something terrible, and Yahweh is no different. He still does something terrible. Every god has their own story, so I can't really judge Yahweh that different from other deities or even from humans in general. Although I will say, as a deity, you're technically supposed to be better than humans, than your creations. But there are also times where your creation is better than you are. And the fact that we are more humane than what he has done, I feel like already says a lot in our growth as humans. But to be fair, I don't know how bad we were. For example, it says that he erased all the evil in the past, or all the evil from the humans, and that's why he had Noah make that ark. Thing is that, like, yes, we were terrible to each other, like, even, like, what, 300 years ago, 400 years ago, like, even 100 years ago, we were pretty terrible, like, to each other. Even now, we're still terrible, but we're not as terrible as we were. We used to, like, trap people in bowls and incinerate the bowl just to hear them scream for our entertainment. We developed a lot of torture methods, so there's almost nothing humane of what we're doing. So maybe we're just like a lot worse back in the day. But this is how far we gotten. This is just Genesis, by the way. Like, taking the whole story and seeing, like, okay, my master wants this, like my creator wants to take two of everything, and you're like the servant. You're like, this is the person that wants me to do this. You're tended to obey. As the prophet, that's what they're called. You're like, okay, let's do this. This is what you want. I will do this because you know better than I do, right? At the same time, you can also be like, hey, I don't think this is the best way. Let's go ahead and rethink this, because I think it also says that Noah walked with him. So they could have discussed, something else, a different alternative. But I guess wiping everything out was one way to restart it. And then he said, okay, well, let's just not do that again. So obviously it was the wrong move. So that is my take on this episode. And then next time, I think I just saw the Tower of Babel. However you want to call it. Yeah, the Tower of Babel. So we're going to read that next time after we read the nation's descendants from Noah. A lot of stuff, a lot of people, a lot of words that I'm going to butcher. So we'll get into that next time. Thank you for joining me.